ABC News Political Director Rick Klein for more on this. Rick, Biden started things off here talking about the atrocities in Bucha. We've all seen these images now, civilians killed by Russian forces. He says some of them had their hands behind their backs. Why do you think the president picked this moment to announce these sanctions?
I think the sanctions have been in the works for a while, and I think there's now, more of a public outcry to do more. This package was carefully crafted. The National Economic Council and others inside the administration have been working on this for a while to try to find ways to continue to squeeze Vladimir Putin. And I think the headlines over the last couple of days and the awful images and the awful reality that's emerged has put a lot of pressure on the White House to show that it is doing more, that it hears the concerns, that it's trying in any way that it can to try to respond to that, when you know that the military options, the biggest military options, remain off the table. So the money remains the focus, and you hear now the ban on any new American investments in Russia, the cracking down on the biggest Russian financial institutions. All of it is of a piece with putting as much pressure on Putin as you can through the money.
They all say they're going to be adding more critical state-owned enterprises from a list of fully blocked Russian companies. What does that do?
Well, look, one of the concerns in the problems with dealing with Russia is that the private and public sectors are so tied up. It's really impossible to get a complete portrait of Putin's finances and the people around him. There's so much corruption and so much state involvement, kind of a legacy from the years under communism, as well as a legacy of the reign of Vladimir Putin, that it's hard to see where the private sector ends and the public sector begins. And that's why the pressure on the oligarchs may matter, and that's why finding some of these quasi-public, quasi-state entities inside of Russia may be just as important as going after individuals. That if you really want to make Putin feel this where it hurts, it means going after the very complex sources of his finances.
Rick, how big is this move with Sberbank and Alfa Bank? The president essentially saying that any assets held by those banks are going to be locked now.
Yeah, look, it's jittered some of the world markets because it puts more concern on how money can move through. And there's a lot of people in not just the United States, but around the world that have assets that are tied up through some of these interests and entities. I think that's one indication that of why it didn't happen yet, is that it does have implications. The Russians need access to their own banks and to world banks, and this does hurt. And it's going to almost certainly hurt the Russian economy even more. It could also hurt the American and the world economy. That's a fact. And I think that this is a significant move. Again, if the goal is to try to make Putin and the people around him feel it, even going after the assets of his own daughter today in these new sanctions, that's what this really is about. And the financial institutions in Russia haven't collapsed despite a lot of pain that they've felt, and this might push them more toward a breaking point.
All right, Rick Klein, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.